all this, I'm out. Ain't paying me enough.
Yeah, he just said this train is lost.
You wanted that bad, take it. Martin said, I hope I see him again. You ain't gonna see him no more, man.
You know, you might run into him in Tatooine.
Yeah, having a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
What train? I ain't nothing about no train. Yeah. See you, Martin. Hey everyone, Double Toasted Live is heading to Florida for 2 back-to-back shows. Gonna be in Miami Thursday, January 20th, and then in Orlando, Friday, January 21st. Get your tickets now by going to x1entertainment.com. Super VIP and VIP tickets available right now. And when you do go to get your tickets, we have a very special discount for you for a limited time only. Type in the code DT2022 when you go to x1entertainment.com and get 15% off your ticket price. Also, check out our new merch store at tpublic.com. We have new merch and new designs available right now with many more on the way. Check them out by clicking the link in the description below. All right, let's go ahead and get into our first segment tonight. Our review for, well, you know it. People say, oh boy, it's a page turner, Martin. People can't stop reading that Book of Boba Fett.
But what if you can't read?
I intend to rule with respect.
How's that working out for you?
I know. She even had that look like, oh, for real.
How you gonna rule with respect with people who have no respect?
Right.
For you at all.
They respect nothing except money.
Exactly.
And force.
They respect nada around here. People, we are talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Into our second episode here on Disney Plus. And last week we were talking about this show. It was the first episode. Didn't really want to weigh too heavy on it because, well, it's really hard to judge with the first episode. You know, things will hopefully pick up if there are things that you have complaints about. And, you know, there was a little bit. I remember having one subtle complaint about last week's episode, the premiere episode. Last week, now, if you've been watching the show, last week they presented a format where you have Boba Fett in a chamber, sleep chamber, and while he's asleep, he's having these flashbacks. And then it cuts to current time, too, where he's trying to take over the criminal underworld. Last week, I'm not going to say it was a heavy complaint, but I did say out loud, I said, you know what? I don't want to see a whole lot of flashbacks if we're going to continue down this line.
Oops.
And this week, they obviously said, we don't give a what you want. Who the hell asked you?
Right.
But I said, I don't want to see that, but
did you get hired? Are you working on production on this? Are you part of the staff?
Look, I'm a viewer. I have an opinion as a viewer. If I don't, I can look. It doesn't mean they're gonna do it, but I did share that I don't know how I feel about this whole going back and forth. Between one hour-long episode, and this week I am eating a big plate of my own words. Martin, you like a bite? Martin, my words are delicious. Not so bad.
Yeah.
Might even have a side of crow with it too. Because this week I'm actually enjoying the flashbacks more than I actually do the relatively current story.
Because there's very little of it.
Well, I just go down and tell you why I like the flashbacks so much. There's several reasons why I do. I think the flashbacks are more effective than the storytelling that they have for, current time. So, as I said, the flashbacks the current time has to deal with Boba Fett taking over the criminal underworld on Tatooine. The flashbacks deal with him as he just got out the Sarlacc pit and he's been taken in by Tusken Raiders. Boba Fett, it's a cool story for him, but I really love what they're doing with the Tusken Raider stuff in this, man. Because what they're doing here is that they're fleshing out, and I said this last week, what's good about all of these Star Wars TV shows, The Mandalorian and now this, I think that they took these tertiary characters, these characters that are just, they're just storytelling devices, forces of nature, just something that give the main characters opposition. That was the Tusken Raiders, man, the Sand People.
I don't call them that.
Well, before that, they would call sand people, which is the way of calling them savages. You know, you had other people who called them sand people because they, you know, again, they're like the Native Americans in a Western.
Very much so.
And with this right here, you know, these savages that we saw before, which again had no real character except to just give people something to run from, or fight, or shoot at, they humanizing them more. You know, I really did love the scenes where not only where they, you know, you get to learn about their culture through Boba Fett's eyes, but, you know, I love where they, you know, you got to see them actually, okay, yeah, look, they got emotions too. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool the way they did that when they got attacked by the train that was going through the desert and killed a few of them, and they showed the aftermath of that, and they showed, and I love the way they showed like the Tusken Raiders, like, man, don't die on me, man, please, brother, please. Like, this motherfucker owes me money. Come on, man. Come on, don't die yet, man. At least not till you pay me.
No, you're going to be all right.
You know, this is what I mean by when I say that I want them to expand the universe. I was never against them bringing in characters over and over again. I just didn't like that they were parading them around just to get cheap applause, just to get cheap nostalgia. You know, what they're doing with these people here, these characters here, is that, look, you can keep bringing characters back again and again as long as you like, but as long as it feels it's not just for show, as long as it feels it's expanding maybe those characters and expanding the story that they're within, and that's what they're doing here. I'm fascinated by the whole thing. It's like learning a whole nother culture here.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's very much Dances with Wolves, where you bring in the outsider who is an enemy at first, and then he goes native and becomes part of the tribe. And it's kind of cool as how much it's an allegory for the Native Americans, but it's also very heavy-handed with it. Like, on one point, like, oh, okay, that's the model. It's like, now you're kind of shoving it down my throat a little bit.
Well, it's a whole different story on how we've seen these Tusken Raiders interact with this world.
No, and I'm cool with that. No,
it's a whole different story on how they grow this world.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, look, the ultimate goal is to make you not look at them as other. Like, you get to see their side of things, which they started back in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And you know, the other thing that I like about it is that I don't think that they're going too far with it. Because if they were, then they would have started showing you what they look like under their mask. I like that they keep them still mysterious. In fact, they creep me out.
Yeah.
They like
I don't know if I could ever get used to that.
I don't.
But you know what? I keep thinking like part of me is like, man, they're gonna show him because they humanizing him this much. And he's talking. Yeah. And they're talking about their lives out. Like, they don't even like being out there. We're gonna get to see him. But then I think, you know what? If they take that off, they might look even worse.
They might. Keep that shit on. Yeah. I mean, shit, I don't know. Maybe that is their face. I don't know. You know, maybe they born looking like bandages and binoculars. I don't know. It's not placating to the audience that want to know, well, what do they look like under there?
Sure.
You know, they don't have to answer everything just because an audience member asked for it. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's pretty cool, the way they're handling that situation right there. And, you know, okay, now I can see what you're saying right here. Maybe it's a little too much, but I do like that they're going even harder with the Western theme.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at this point, there's no doubt. I mean, if you had any question with The Mandalorian, whether that was a Western and you shouldn't, this definitely is. Almost to a point where, all right, you know what, this is where I thought it got maybe just a little silly. Okay, so you got the whole thing with, you know, the saloon, you know, where you have the lone, let's see if I can find that here. You can keep that in here. Where you got the lone gunslinger who comes in and just beats the shit out of everybody in the saloon. She even your boys back there like, God damn, Boba Fett, come on, man. She's horrified. She's like,
I know, you're like, just shoot him already.
She's like, God damn, his head is caved in already. Jesus. I mean, thank you, but goddamn. You know, that was cool right there. I think the part that probably bothered me, and this is what gets to me with a lot of Star Wars stuff, and again, it's something small. It means nothing to most people. Sometimes they're a little bit too obvious with their comparisons or connections and metaphors. Mm-hmm. So this is a saloon. Man, I'd rather than be wearing cowboy hats or something. It just kind of it got silly to me when the shit turned into what's that biker show, man?
Sons of Anarchy.
When the shit turned to Sons of Anarchy, man, these were obviously space bikers.
Which
I'm cool with, but you know, the whole thing with them having like
their speeders,
their insignia on their jackets and all that kind of shit. I like they have space tortillas out there, space tortilla chips. Space tortilla chips. Man, ain't nothing but Doritos. Come on.
Leslie's like, you came over and snatched their chips. You didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to do that, man.
I'm sure there's bags of those chips behind the bar.
Yeah, but he wanted his chips.
Right.
To show you a bitch. That's why. Punk ass.
You know, it's funny that because they are wearing the jackets,
yeah,
and they seem like they're bikers. But I thought from the guy's reaction that maybe they were police, because him saying like it's not right, like they were just police that are on the take that just come in and just take whatever they want.
No, they're bikers.
Yeah,
No,
looking at it right there, it's like, oh yeah,
I mean, look at this.
Biker.
You got the bike insignia here. You got the guy with the biker helmet on back here. I just like, you know what? That's just a little too obvious. I don't think we need biker jackets to show that they were bikers.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes the comparisons are a little bit too on the nose.
It's not right.
You say?
And I was talking to her. I was like, it's not right. They should give these boys whatever they want.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to ask.
And they always do that in Westerns too. You got the one guy that decides to stand up and realize, you know what the f was I thinking? Man, the cattle prod his ass.
I know.
You know, that's a little thing with me right there. Whenever they make these Star Wars comparisons, like a casino that looks too much like a casino.
Yes, or a 50s diner.
or a 50s diner. Sometimes it takes me out of the world. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the episodes right here, one of the things right here that took me out of this world. I was like, come on, man, we ain't got to get completely Sons of Anarchy in here with this. But all right, cool. You know, it's not a big deal.
Nah, it's not a big deal. I
think the biggest homage to Westerns that we have right here, and I thought this was pretty badass, was that train scene, man.
Yes. I was, up and down about how I felt about the long flashback, but the train scene, I was like, okay, this makes all of this.
No, I love that train scene, and let me see here. No, I thought that train scene was pretty brilliant, man. And the reason why is because, looking at that train scene, first of all, that train scene, I say it's homage to Westerns, and it is. They kind of did it already in another Western. They did it in Solo. And I actually thought that was a cool scene in Solo. But with what we have here with Boba Fett, I mean, this is definitely more of a homage to Westerns. I mean, for one thing, they're out there in the desert. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a Western setting. It has more of a rustic feel. And what I like about this is that this was the that scene where it's like, it was the one where they showed off they had money.
Yes.
It's like, this is the one where the show said, we got that Disney money right here. This is the one where, they always say that if Disney really believes in these shows, they're going to put one scene in there that could have been on the big screen. And this was it. And you're like, shit. I liked about that scene. So sometimes the humor in these Star Wars shows, sometimes I think they go a little bit overboard with it. I thought that this was the right balance of humor in this one, man, because they had that scene with the robot conductor.
That robot conductor, I love him. I was like, I hope they bring him back.
Oh, he ain't coming back. The way he ran off in this, he said, "Man, y'all are crazy."
That's what I loved about it.
He's like, "No, I ain't coming back. Are you crazy?" He said, "You want that train that goddamn bad? You can have it."
Well, all throughout Star Wars, they always make the droids idiots.
Yeah.
And this is one of the few where I was like, he's smart, because even with the train getting attacked, he was pushing all the right stuff to keep it going and shut down the marauders, the sand people who were trying to get on it.
Yeah,
I was like, this droid, he's got his shit together. And when it wasn't when it wasn't good for him no more, he bailed.
That's what I love about this is what I do love about Star Wars robots, because they say robots are supposed to be loyal to humans.
No.
That. And the hell with that. I'm out. I'm loyal to me. I like the robots at one point just say, you know what, all this, I'm out. Mm-hmm. Ain't paying me enough.
Yeah, he just said, this train is lost.
You wanted that bad, take it. Martin said, I hope I see him again. You ain't gonna see him no more, man.
You might run into him in Tatooine.
Yeah, having a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
What train? I ain't nothing about no train. Yeah. See you, Martin. Also, I do enjoy how the flashbacks. I feel that the flashbacks are actually, they're the ones that's giving Boba Fett more character instead of the current story.
Sure. They are. It's just that, me personally, I don't work on the show. Just an opinion.
Yes.
I am not looking for so much backstory with Boba Fett as I am looking to where are we going, not where have we been. Like him escaping the Sarlacc pit. Okay, that was interesting because it's like, hey, last time I saw him, he was dead. But it's so much of the time he's spending doing this with the Tuskens. I was like, all right, this is, I've seen this before with other things. I don't need to spend so much time with it. Where the current story that I personally am more interested in is getting short. It's getting shorted, and the needle's just moving very slowly.
Yeah.
And with only 6 episodes, I'm like, hey, I'd like to see this progress. Now, we could reach the end of the flashbacks by the next one, and all the rest could be current. It's just, it feels like these flashbacks have to get us caught up, and I'm hoping that they take more of a backseat.
I want to see this whole story that they told me about him taking over this criminal underworld. However, I feel like when I'm getting in the backstory is important because it's explaining a lot of things to me that have an impact on the current story. Like this whole thing about him, because before I'm like, this dude is lousy at being a crime lord. Like, where the hell did you get all this from? Like all this stuff about I want to rule with respect and I want to rule with in a peaceful way. And I'm like, you know what? You don't do that around here. But him dealing with the Tusken Raiders, the whole thing with him having to actually be not only a part, when he becomes a part of their family, a part of their clan, a part of their tribe, all of a sudden he has this need to protect them. And part of that protection is not always attacking the enemy, but negotiating with the enemy. That part where, because you have the Pukes or whatever, the Pike Syndicate.
Oh, okay.
These are the Pike Syndicate people on the train right here. The thing that I like about that is that was the first indicator where he's like, all right, you know what? If I'm going to protect these people, because they motherfuckers are crazy anyway. They're just going to attack. If I want to protect them, I have to be their ambassador. I have to be their
work a deal.
Yeah, I have to work a deal. I have to be their negotiator.
We thought you were uncivilized raiders.
These lands are no longer free for you to pass into them.
I thought that was okay. I said, all right, now you know what? This is actually giving me more insight on the current story.
And you know what? That is something that had crossed my mind, and now that you bring it up, is that this could lead to showing more about why he's trying to do things currently.
Yeah.
Because from what he's worked out in the past. So, like I said, the next episode might do it. I love that when he had that guy there, and he's pretty much like, yeah, they want to kill you. I'm going to give you a chance to say something that's going to make me calm them down. And the first thing that guy said, he's just like, this is not looking good for you.
And he said it coolly, like, it's not looking good for you. And he was trying to be cool, but you hear him like,
yeah.
It's.
We thought you were savages. That's the wrong thing. Man, you're not good at this, are you?
Hey, I tell you, here's some advice. Why don't you shut the f up? I'm trying to help you now. All right, come on. These flashbacks are actually, I think, fleshing in a lot of stuff that we're just waiting to be set up later on in the story. And they also explain some things that we even saw in The Mandalorian, like his whole fighting style. Like, I love that whole training sequence. Not only did that say that they accepted him You know, I thought it was cool that they accepted him so much that they wanted to show him their ways, because that means like, okay, we plan on keeping you around, and if you're gonna be around here, you better pull your weight, bitch. You know, they gave him a stick and trained him.
Yeah. You gotta learn how to make your own stick.
Yeah, and I love it that during that they weren't, you know, they were hard on him too, because I think within their tribe, you know, within their culture, they're like predators or something, man. You know, the harder we are on you, the more we care, because we want you to survive in this harsh climate out here. He's like, mother, put these sticks down and go about this another way. You know? Hit me one more goddamn time. Shit, we don't need a stick to go at it, man. He like, man, if your boys weren't back there, if I wasn't outnumbered 50-1 in the middle of the desert, I'll whoop your ass right now.
I'll rip that mask off.
I'll stick that staff right up your ass, right up your sandy ass. You know, this is a lot more development than I thought I would get from this character in the flashbacks, judging from last week.
Sure.
You know, now my expectations have kind of, they petered a little bit. You know, I was, you know, my expectations going in where I was going to get a whole lot of story of the current Boba Fett story. You know, I would still like that, but I'm really enjoying the flashbacks here.
Sure.
I really love these flashbacks that are going on. I think they're doing not only the character of Boba Fett justice for people who are saying, all right, show me what's so cool about Boba Fett. But it's also, again, it's building up the Star Wars world, the universe, in a way that these movies just never did, man. And it makes me think like, all right, if even when these shows have flaws, right now, Star Wars storytelling is better on TV. From Clone Wars to Mandalorian to this.
Yeah. I mean, something when you have a fully realized world, storytelling in general just works better in the mini series format.
Yeah, it does. And like I said, man, I think, you know, I keep talking about the Tusken Raiders, but it is Boba Fett's story, man. I like the way, because at first I was thinking, I was like, all right, is this a Sand People story or is this Boba Fett now? Well, let me just call this the Book of Sand or something. But I like the way it turned around and always said, this is really Boba Fett's story, because it's got to a point where after they were done training him, I like the way later on he said, all right, you know what? You taught me your ways. Let me return the favor by training y'all. Like when he went and stole those bikes. I did now, and usually in a training montage, I don't like it, but I did find it funny. You know, these Sand People or Tusken Raiders who've been trying to act cool the whole time, just falling on their ass on these while they're trying to hop on these bikes, man.
Shit.
You know, it did show all the different things that could go wrong with doing that. Because in movies, and I ain't talking about just Star Wars, movies across the board always make it that like hop from one vehicle to the next, and it's always done so smoothly. And you're like, bullshit. This is the first time doing it, and you're not just gonna hit the road and get road rash? Nah.
Yeah. You thought stormtroopers were messing that up because they were stormtroopers and they were stupid. No, it ain't. Luke did it because he's Luke.
Yeah, he's got the Force.
Yeah, when you know in Return of the Jedi when they had that whole speed bike race through the forest. Yeah, it was cool. I like. You're right. It's kind of cool to see. Like, yeah, it ain't so easy now, is it?
and you can see he's driving them slow.
Yeah,
it's like teaching a bunch of teenagers how to drive.
Yeah, they just looking stupid. Going back to the TV shows, because I was about to give up with these movies, man. You know, of course,
sure were.
It comes around.
Man.
You know, well, I'm still. I mean, I'll come out with a movie at some point. And I'm gonna be like, this is cool. This is amazing. But the movies, as they stand right now, with what we just left, I was about to give up on Star Wars in general. But these shows are bringing me back around, man. You know, these shows, they have shown how Star Wars has stood the test of time. And many of you wish you could watch Star Wars like your parents did, talking about the test of time.
Sure.
You know, many of you wish you could watch Star Wars like your grandparents did, stoned, you know, on that good weed. Oh, you know what? Thing is, man, your parents, they did probably watch you smoking that weed, but they had that good stuff back then.
Yeah.
You know, they could smoke out right before going to see Star Wars, but they could still sit back and enjoy the movie.
It and not space out.
Or maybe
see what I did? Space out.
Boy, I'm gonna put a joint in your mouth and settle your ass down. Or maybe Star Wars wasn't that great. People just high back then. I don't know. But anyway, people mellowed out and they enjoyed it, and they weren't sitting there freaking out with all these creatures and monsters because they had a nice mellow mood watching this. And you can watch Star Wars in that nice mellow mood also. Get yourself some dad grass. Dad grass for your ass over there. Nice. Thing is, and people are like, ooh, Corey, you know, Mr. Disney, Mickey ain't gonna like you talking about weed up here. Oh, that wacky stuff over here. Nah, people, look. Thing with dadgrass, it's okay to talk about it because dadgrass is legal, 100% legal. It's organic, smokable hemp that relaxes your body and mellows your mind, Martin.
Could use some of that.
Martin, you can look like me right now.
I
don't want to look like that. Hey, Martin. Hey, baby. Nah, you won't look like that, but you might feel that way, and that feeling is good. They have that 100% organic pre-rolled joints that are very low in THC and high in CBD. So you can enjoy the effects of the CBD while keeping a clear head, y'all. With this, Dadgrass also has a CBD tincture made with the same high quality hemp. It's easy to dose and the effects come on real smooth. Told you, this is the kind of stuff I need, y'all. Just substances just don't agree with me anywhere from weed to coffee. But with this now
you finally found something.
Somebody's finally making weed for me. You can chill out, like I said, without getting stoned. It's like having the comparison that they like to make. Now, they did give me this. I usually talk my way through this. I do my own pitch, but I like this comparison. They say it's like drinking a glass of wine instead of the whole bottle.
Oh, okay.
You feel good. Martin's like, well, I can't do that.
I can't do that. Yeah. Once I pop the cork, it's done.
Well, until they come out with dad wine, get yourself some dad grass over here. I'm going to send you over to Dadgrass. Now go to dadgrass.com/toasted and get 20% off your first order. I want to thank Dadgrass. Thank you, Dad, for supporting this portion of the show. They got mom grass too. Thank you, mommy. And I also want to thank all of you out there for your support as always. Now, let's go ahead and get into the rest of this review right here because I've talked about the flashbacks and how those are my favorite part of what they're doing right now. I think really they're pretty great. But, it's not that the current story doesn't show some promise.
It does. Yeah. I just, the thing I had a problem with the first episode, it's still there where I go, all right, you want to take over, but you and a 3-man crew is not very intimidating. How's this supposed to happen?
Well, not 3-man, 4. You got 2 green pigs back there, the Gamorrean guards. So he got a crew. It ain't that big.
That's what I said. Him and 3 other people.
him and 3 other people. Yes, yeah. Well, that's better than 1 or 2.
Yes.
You got an extra pig in there, man. It's all right. Yeah, they are certainly setting things up, but that's my problem. It's like, man, okay, so you ain't got no crew. Mm-hmm. This your castle is empty. You ain't even got a maid. You got one ragged ass robot.
Right. When the 4 of them go walking, if somebody wanted to get them, they could just booby trap their lair or burn it down.
It feels very barren, and it actually kind of feels vague with what's your plan, man?
Right.
But they are certainly setting things up. I just don't feel like it's grabbing me right now. I'm interested. I just don't feel like I'm being really pulled in. Like the whole thing with Jabba's cousins.
Yeah.
Look, when a Hutt come into town, everybody's scared shitless.
Right.
I mean, especially when they announce they coming into town, they got that little drum they play.
Yeah, with Jennifer Beal, when they saw her last week, she was all like, "Oh hey, and here's my tribute, and good to have you here." And she's like, "You haven't heard? You don't know what's coming?"
Exactly. But I love the scene with the Hutts, man. I love that the Hutts was saying, because this is what I expect gangsters to be like. Mm-hmm. They're like, you know what? Everybody be cool. Everybody be cool.
Yeah.
We're going to talk, Boba. He's just back on that. I like that whole thing. And plus, I like how, look, the Hutts are nasty creatures anyway. I love the way it got even creepier and nasty with Jabba's cousins because they're brother and sister.
All that is his belongs to me now.
Wiki Chesko, Maurice
Watch
I
your
like
back.
when they got their own theme song when they leave. Now,
what I love with that whole thing is how the guys holding him up are dying.
Oh,
you see that?
There's
They're
one
just
dude-
straining and shifting.
like that dude right there.
Yeah, he almost fell.
It was almost like what like on set, not even in the story. It's like whatever they had on that shit that was weighing it down. That dude was really uncomfortable. I have to call cut. Shit. You know they probably had to like shoot this about 5 times. He kept like shit.
I know.
Cut. Get him up.
Yeah.
You know, these two here though, man. Is this some Game of Thrones thing going on with them? Are they? Because they are laid
right
up
on top of each other.
They are laid up on each other, man.
Yeah, they
and he's
are.
got his hand all in her ass and everything.
Yeah. And they're very comfortable with it.
I like that they've made the Hutts even creepier, man.
Sure.
What I like about the mayor is I can't tell if the mayor's on his side or not.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. I mean, of course not. You can't tell.
Yeah, because he just busted in. And it's almost like the mayor thought like, well, shit, if you got balls to come in here like this, respect, man. But then like I like the way he kind of put a veiled threat himself out. Like, if you threatening me, just keep in mind, I know mother, man.
You should remember, before you threaten me, you should ask yourself, who really sent the night wind? I serve at your pleasure.
I love that scene. First of all, I love that creature, man.
Yeah. You know what? I love that he talks with a translator.
Yes. Yeah. And does he have one mouth or two? I can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are those gills? You know, I can't tell. The mayor. I love the mayor, man. I just love everything is menacing about him and his assistant, which his assistant is pretty great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's great.
I'm impressed with how it's going for all these deep dives. This episode is a deep dive for the fans out there. But I like that they're having these deep dives, which normally would just be Easter eggs. There's a difference between an Easter egg and a deep dive. A deep dive is actually something that doesn't disrupt the story.
Right.
You know, if you notice it, it actually adds to the story.
It does.
And if you notice it, cool. But if you don't notice it, everybody's still happy. You can still move on. You're not confused. You know, so I like that these, they're doing a lot of deep dives, and I'm referencing everything from movies to comics to the television shows. You know, all Star Wars stuff, of course. Like those train villains, the Pikes or whatever. You know, they've been in a couple of things. You know,
have they?
Yeah, they were in Solo.
Okay.
So they went Solo. I think they're big thing in Clone Wars, which I don't watch Clone Wars. And to be honest with you, a lot of this stuff, look, I don't know. You know, people like to say they're a Star Wars fan. I am, but I ain't no deep dive Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
All this stuff I had to look up. I didn't know
Okay.
anything about it. I read up on these things. I know there's a lot of Easter eggs and deep dives on this. This is a very deep dive episode. So yeah, that's something. That's one of the more shallow deep dives. You know, like if you remember these characters from Solo, be like, nobody remember Solo, man. So, I do, but yeah, if you remember Solo, then you probably remember those characters. One cool deep dive with this, and this is one that doesn't really serve the story, but it's a really cool. So it's a cool bit of history, and you might know this already. I don't know. So those characters, the dude that's not right. That's not. The dude got his ass beat for trying to speak up. Him and his girlfriend, they're characters from a deleted scene in Star Wars.
No, I do not know that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh man.
In the first Star Wars,
yeah,
the very first movie.
Yeah, in the first Star Wars, so they have a character named Biggs, and everybody knows Biggs.
Oh, Biggs.
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody knows Biggs.
Yeah.
Luke's like sort of mentor and best friend.
Yeah.
Surrogate big brother in a way. So Biggs was hanging out. There's a scene where he's hanging out, and he's coming in to say hello to Luke. And those two characters that we saw at the bar in this episode, they're there also.
Oh.
Okay. Refueling. But there was a lot of firing earlier. Hey! I tell you, Luke, the rebellion's a long way from here.
And this dude is horny as hell, man.
Yeah.
Like his friend right there. Shit, no wonder the bikers wanted to beat his ass. Like if you look at it, he cannot keep his hands off of her, man. Like look at this.
But there was a lot of firing earlier. Hey!
All on her shoulders.
And then Bogart's Luke out of the way.
Out the way, man. What you doing?
I tell you,
Look at me, mugged him. That's my girl.
the rebellion's a long way from here.
Baby, so
This planet, big hunk of nothing.
Let's drop this nerd right here. Yeah, man. That's so that's a deleted scene. They just,
Okay.
Yeah, they cut that out.
I knew there was a deleted scene with Biggs, but I'd never seen it until just now.
I think there's another scene with Biggs too, but that's one of them that they. And I thought that was cool because I didn't know that. I found that out today.
Okay.
Just reading up on those characters right there because I did read up. I said I wonder if these characters mean anything because they were kind of random. They didn't really add anything,
Right.
but they put a lot of emphasis on putting the cameras in their face. And, normally it just would have been a guy like, hey, they would have beat his ass. But
Right.
They gave him a lot of screen
Yeah,
time.
they did.
I was like, so who is this guy? And knowing Star Wars, there's some history or some Easter egg there.
Okay.
And turns out it was.
Okay.
So that, I don't mind, man, having those kind of deep dives of Easter eggs when you discover something new.
Sure. And not knowing didn't affect how I felt about this at all.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you want to get down to something that's really making me interested, besides the Hutts in the current gangster story of Boba Fett, that damn Wookiee, what's his name?
Oh, Black
Black Crazy, Black Krasinski, whatever.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum. Yeah. I love that big black ass Wookiee that came in.
Yeah, well, sometimes you'll see him. I don't know if he's in any of the novels or any of the other TV shows or anything. I just know him from the Darth Vader comic books.
Oh well, that's a big thing with him.
But
Oh shit!
yeah, no, that's the right look.
Boba Fett's like, oh, this mother.
Yeah. Oh, you gonna stare me down?
Oh,
Time to go to Plan B.
put that jetpack in effect. Get
Yeah,
the fuck
right.
out of there. Shit, pull a Sarlacc pit. This character, you're right. He's from the. It's from the Darth Vader comics.
Yeah.
I know it's. I'm wondering if this character is going to be a big presence in not only this, but maybe the Obi-Wan series coming out too.
Oh.
Because in the comics, when Obi-Wan actually had some interaction with him. So Luke's Uncle Owen, he was about to get his ass whooped by Black Krasinski or the Black Chrysanthemum.
No, you don't get your ass whooped by him. You get killed.
You get killed?
You get murdered by him.
And so Obi-Wan had to come in and save his uncle right there. You can see.
And then the uncle went on to talk shit about him.
I know. He had what was coming to him. Shit, Luke probably hired his ass. Kill my uncle, man. Yeah, well, the moment he came on, I didn't even know all this stuff. But when he came out, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it, and I had those footsteps, and then watched it come out. I was like, oh, y'all are.
Yeah.
Oh, what you gonna do now?
Shit, that was you, Mark. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that character, man, because if he did have a tangle with Obi-Wan, I wonder if there's going to be a moment where he comes back in and has something with him, or they recreate some scenes. So, yeah. So they're doing some things here, man, that are really cool.
Yeah.
They're not grabbing me 100%.
Right.
It's not like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian had a mystique about it, and this doesn't quite have that.
And look, The Mandalorian had a cheat too. They had Baby Yoda. Like the moment they introduced Baby Yoda, man,
right.
that man, come on. Maybe Boba Fett can get like a baby Chewbacca or something, man. A baby Chewie. Maybe he can get a puppy or something. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. They definitely had something with, and like I said, it was kind of a cheat with The Mandalorian, but they don't have that thing to grab you yet. But I do think that they are. I'm glad they don't have a Baby Yoda or a Baby Chewie or something.
No, can't keep doing that every time.
No, but I will say that I think watching this is something where they got 7 episodes, we got 5 more. They really have to pick up that current day story, I think. I don't think they can keep relying on the flashbacks, even though I love the flashbacks. I'll tell you one other interesting thing about this is that this is the episode that made me say, "You're goddamn right, George Lucas. He wasn't influenced by. He stole from Dune."
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole time when I was watching Dune, I was like, all right, I always heard he was influenced, but watching Dune, I was like, nah, he just ripped out pages.
He's straight up Jack Dune, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's because in my review I said, look, if you look at Dune, you can see where the Force came from. Oh, and this whole thing, like, listen, they're in the middle of the desert, talking about what?
What do you mean by spice?
Sansana spice from the slave mines of Kessel.
What does spice look like?
Like that, bitch.
I love that. I ain't even heard of spice. Where would you even get that from? What does it even look like?
oh, like that. Okay. Oh, spice. Yeah.
Okay. You ain't say. I ain't know what you meant at the time.
You didn't say spice. Oh, that's spice. Yeah. No, they mentioned spice. Spice is the driving force behind Dune.
Yeah.
Like, you'd even try to hide that shit.
I know.
He didn't even try to cover up with another name. So yeah, this was the episode where I said, "Wow, you really had no shame here, did you?"
It's always like, well, I mean, sure, people love Dune, but it's too thick.
Yeah.
So most people they don't know.
Well, the whole thing of trying to negotiate, like, this is our territory, you have to pay to pass through. It was that not a Dune storyline?
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah,
so
no, all that.
Well, no wonder
with the people in the sand, living in the sand.
Yeah.
And
well, no wonder the flashbacks work. They
you already done before.
It's Dune. Yeah. It's like watching Dune. So, well, like I said, man, I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm not gonna even say it's poor. I will also say that his girl, man, I hope that she gets a little more attention because she had nothing to do in this episode at all. I think that right from the beginning, like, maybe not even the first episode. First episode, The Mandalorian, I liked. By the second episode, I'm like, all right, I'm in. This is cool. You grabbed me 100%. This is more, I'm about 70, 80% hooked here, man, on what they're doing. But there's just about the rest, the remainder, I just don't feel like it's hooked me yet. Because like I said, some of these, whatever the plan is of his, is still vague.
Vague, yes.
And if we had a little more clarity on what he plans on doing or how these things are connecting, and they probably will, as I said last episode, then things will pick up. But they feel vague and they just feel a little empty with him because he has nothing to be a crime lord. He's just one dude.
Yeah. He's one dude with three people saying, "Okay, I'm running things now," and considering the formidable enemies that he's made, it's like, well, God, it seems like the only reason they haven't taken him out is because the writers have just not let them take him out.
Yeah.
But it's like the most logical thing was, all right, well, you're in the middle of a town square surrounded by what could be assassins that could just get all of y'all at once.
Yeah. Or
blow up your compound.
Like, he hasn't shown me he's badass enough to take maybe some sand people, but not a whole crime syndicates.
Yes.
Not just one, but several.
Syndicates and run the city.
And like, all this fool has is a chair right now. That's it.
Yeah.
When you went to Jabba's palace, Jabba was armed in every corner.
Yep.
You go in there right now, he got what? IKEA furniture and a robot and nothing, empty space. Mm-hmm. Like, he ain't even got the, like, you know what really drove it home that you ain't got shit? It was a gag. It was a funny gag. It was a gag in the show, but it really did drive home, like, okay, what the do you have, man?
I was sent by the mayor! The mayor sent me!
It's empty.
Yeah, no shit. Like everything else in this castle.
Right.
Like, you ain't even got a raincoat.
I know.
And
which I was wondering, like, wait, did they just not have money to make the raincoat look good, or they just thought it'd be a gag? Because as a gag,
the raincoat's dead.
Right. No, I know. Unless they could have got another one. But it is one of these things where it's like, once I'm out of here, I'm gonna tell everybody you don't really have a raincoat.
Exactly. Like, do you really want to let him know that? Then you might as well kill this fool, man. Mm-hmm. You want to let him go see you tell people, man, he ain't got shit. Hey, if he drops you in the pit, don't worry about it. There ain't shit down there. He doesn't feel intimidating is what it is.
Yes.
Maybe I feel like he's somewhat of a badass, but for somebody who's supposed to be a crime lord, he's not intimidating.
Yes. Being able to beat up everyone in a bar is one thing. Being able to take on syndicates and powerful people who are after you and run a city, that's a different power set.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's still not clicking for me. And I like the show. I like this one much better than last week's.
Yeah.
I can't go as far as to say hooked. It is that thing like, well, it's Wednesday and I got nothing else. So, it doesn't. It's benefiting by not having competition. And not to say that I wouldn't watch it, but it wouldn't be something I would clamor to watch. I'd be like, I can wait till the weekend.
And I'm not disliking any of it. I'm just still waiting.
Yeah.
I can't even say I'm disappointed. I'm still
Just
waiting.
still waiting.
I'm still waiting, man. We got 2 episodes in, but it did pick up from last week.
It did.
So there is that. If I had to rate this episode right now before we move on, it's still a matinee.
Yeah, it's a higher matinee. It's still a matinee. If there is one thing I would fix, if they said like you could fix one thing on this show, and I said I only get one, it would be to get Tamura Morrison a different set of false teeth. Because his teeth are just too white and chiclety. He doesn't smile that often, but when he does, I was like, man, those are so obviously dentures. It's bugging me.
I'm trying to find a picture of him smiling. Oh shit! I just had one. Oh, here it is. Wait, hold on.
And
Damn.
everything else will be dirty, but he's got those stark, just polished white chiclets in his mouth.
Got them Billy teeth up
Yeah.
in there. Got them Denzel teeth. Be funny if when your boy showed up right here, he looked at you like, oh, yeah, people. Well, there you go. We'll see how it actually picks up. Still got, I think it's 7 episodes.
Is it 7?
I think that's what the chat said. I think so.
Was the episode, was it an hour long or was it 30 minutes?
It was an hour long.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. 'Cause I was like, this feels longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, man.
It's getting better.
No, it is. It is. I like the way Martin went in and just shit. He went deep. I was talking about deep dives. Damn, man, you put on the brother's teeth. Shit. I'm like, come on, man.
It fuck man, especially when he's out in the desert. Out in the desert, he's looking all raw, like raw chicken and everything from the heat blistering his skin. But he'll open his mouth big and
Damn, brother, you acting like he's Uncle Denzel.
yes, he kind of was.
maybe take his hood off one day. Take that helmet off. He's looking like that. You mean like this one? You take that hood off. It's Denzel under that.
Man, what'd you do if you find out that's how Denzel looks whenever he knows the cameras, when he's not on set?
Shit, it probably is.
It's his natural state.
Come on now, woman, want my dinner? Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.